This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome. Enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
We will be your horror hosts for this dissection of David Fincher's 1995 neo-noir horror crime thriller, Se7ven.
Good evening.
I don't think I've seen this movie since 1995. Like, it had been a long time.
It might have been 96 or 7. No, probably 95. I think I saw this in the theater.
Yeah.
But it's,
at Kiggins. I saw it at Kiggins, for sure.
It's been a hot minute, and I had almost forgotten how much I really enjoy David Fincher's movies.
Yeah.
Because I forgot that he made Fight Club, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's
I think
just
that's the only
good.
other Fincher movie that we have discussed on a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we could do Zodiac if we really wanted to do Fincher.
You know, I got curious about Zodiac. That was kind of a weird, trip my mind went on, right? Because I thought, well, John Doe's clearly based on the Zodiac killer. Maybe I should watch Zodiac. And then I'm kind of looking at these movies, and then I go, oh, wait, Fincher did Zodiac also? That's sort of, it's just interesting that he still kind of had a serial killer's itch to scratch.
Well, and there was a whole comic series about where there's 7 issues of it, and so mini series, where it's all from the villain's John Doe's perspective, and it kind of it goes through his motivations and how and why he does each of the 5 victims, because he is envy and wrath, is Brad Pitt. So so in this episode we're just gonna go through this whole movie. It's not a review, it's just a commentary. A lot of people listen for a minute or two and don't really know what we're gonna do. This is gonna be a long form discussion of Se7ven by David Fincher.
We take a film or a piece of media and we break it down into its component parts. We call it dissecting. And just examine those parts in detail, and we go on tangents and then
we'll make some good media recommends at the end for you.
You're citizens of the internet. You've heard of two guys talking podcast
you
before.
know what two middle-aged dudes sound like. Here we are. So this movie was made for about $34 million, 34, and it box officed for 327, so almost 10 times this revenue. That's a winner.
It's wild because it's a September movie, right? So it's in a dump month. Where basically the studio is thinking this is like a video nasty, but it's got some movie star, ascendant movie stars. Brad Pitt is on the way up. He's still kind of a heartthrob Brad Pitt.
The 90s are become the era of Brad Pitt into the early 2000s.
Yeah, but he's coming off, he's top billed and he's a movie star. But he's coming out of his pretty boy era at this point, which is a big motivation for him to
it's post-interview with the vampire, Legends of the Fall.
Legends of the Fall, and what's the other romantic one? River Runs Through It or something like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but he's freshly cut his long hair, and he's trying to kind of change his image at this point. And he does this movie and 12 Monkeys back to back. And that's they're much grittier, grimier.
Well, and then Fight Club shortly thereafter. Yeah. So he definitely changes. And then a little while later he does Snatch. Yeah. So, this changes his image.
Yeah. So this is ascendant heartthrob Brad Pitt trying to become movie star Brad Pitt. Morgan Freeman is a legacy sort of character actor, but he's not exactly a movie star yet.
He's kind of, I guess he's sort of in that beloved old guy, not super famous category.
He's becoming that. He's not fully that yet. He has Driving Miss Daisy and I think Shawshank right before this. And then this sort of cements who Morgan Freeman becomes for the rest of the 90s.
And Gwyneth Paltrow's on the rise, and this is pre-scandal Kevin Spacey.
Yes. Yeah, way pre-scandal Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Before we knew he was a creep.
Yeah, and I'm sure you heard the same things that I did that were basically... It was quite a bit of work to get him cast in this because he was asking for too much money because he had just filmed Usual Suspects and a few other movies that he had the correct instincts were going to break really big for him. and he knew he was counting on he would be a much bigger name by the time this movie came out, and so he raised his asking price in anticipation of his success. And then that bet paid off.
Yeah, he was smart. He did the math, and he got it right.
I made 3 good movies. By the time this comes out, I'm a movie star.
So this movie got 1 Academy Award nomination, and that was for Best Film Editing for Richard Francis Bruce. That's fair. It was nominated for a BAFTA for Best Original Screenplay, and it won 3 MTV Movie Awards. That's not a thing anymore, right? Like
MTV Movies Awards. That's still a thing.
Yeah, holy shit! Do people even watch MTV?
I don't know. I'm not a young.
Well, it won Best Movie, Most Desirable Male, and Best Villain.
Yeah, and there you go. They were totally robbed of the best on-screen duo for Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Oh man, who won it?
Is it like Buddy and Woody from Toy Story, Buzz and Woody from Toy Story, or
Cartoon
something like that. It was some other iconic duo. It was fair, but it's but this, I remember this movie, seeing it as a teenager. I'm still in high school when this comes out, my senior year of high school. Going to see it at our local, what was then kind of a grimy second run theater, is now a little bit more of a nicer repertory theater. But in our day, the Kiggins Theater in downtown Vancouver, Washington, was like a 2 movies for 50 cents grindhouse. And
now it's pretty nice. You can get beer and wine and all that.
And I didn't know what I was getting into with this movie, and it was like fully disturbing. I remember being like traumatized, like. Not like, oh, I hated that, but just like, oh my God, that movie was fucked up.
Absolutely.
And it is fucked up all the way through. Once it I didn't have any clue what I was getting into when I went to go see this.
Yeah, this movie it was like deceptive. They marketed it like it was scary and spooky. Like none of the marketing is nice, but you don't really think it's going to be just like horrific, grim, grisly torture killings. Yeah, like all through.
I'm curious. Did you remember it being more graphic than it is? Because I definitely did. The picture in my head of this movie was going to be much more horrific than actually the movie leaves most of it to your imagination.
Yeah, I think that my memory of it was that it was way worse than it was. And I would say that I think my wife thought the same thing, because she was like, I don't think I want to see that again. And then when I watched it, I was like, well, there's not much that's actually graphic. Like the whole lust killing is not graphic. He's talking, it's a traumatized man, really.
It's entirely implied, and that's not how I remembered it. And I heard an interview with David Fincher where he talked about he got into a yelling fight with a lady at a cocktail party because she came at him and said, you didn't need to show that girl's head in the box at the end of that movie.
It's never shown.
That was over the line, and that's gratuitous and misogynist. And she laid into him, and he's like, we didn't. You never see the head in the box. And she's like, yes, you did. You showed her severed head in the box. And it's like
they do a thing. I saw this in a video later on, but and he does this a bunch in Fight Club later. But while Morgan Freeman's holding the box and looking in it, there's literally 1 frame of Gwyneth Paltrow's face, but it's from the earlier scene when she's in bed and smiling at her husband. It literally one frame of her face is spliced in there, but it's so fast, you don't even notice it.
That's wild, because they don't have
but it's literally her smiling face.
Yeah, and there actually isn't even a model head in the box. There was a bag with a yellow, like a blonde wig on it.
Yeah.
So even if you saw into the box, you wouldn't see her severed head. But that's interesting, that subliminal editing that they do there.
Yeah, they do that a ton in Fight Club. And, and
Fight Club tells you about it. They make a point of mentioning it. Yeah.
So this movie is pretty crazy, and I wasn't sure I was gonna like it because I had memories of it being like, I don't know, disturbing or just like off-putting, kind of like Firewalk with me.
Yeah.
But I actually like this quite a bit more than that.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's disturbing in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, that movie is also just and that is. They are two disturbing movies, but
it's like disturbing I don't like versus disturbing I like.
This was a much more, I think, compelling watch than
it's also
Firewalk.
Very artistic. This movie is beautiful.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, we're already starting to dissect this thing, so let's run the music and get into our dissection. A disillusioned homicide detective has his retirement plans derailed when he and his rookie partner begin investigating a series of elaborate biblically themed murders.
It's basically Die Hard.
Basically Die Hard. I was going to say it's basically the Batman, but with no Batman in it.
Yeah.
It's like all Riddler, no Batman.
That's true. I mean, this is... When I first was watching this, because your memory plays tricks on you, after all these years, I was just like, oh, yeah, it's a buddy cop movie. I knew that.
Yeah, like Lethal Weapon, right?
Yeah, not Die Hard. I meant Lethal Weapon. Yeah, I messed up my own joke. Anyway, I thought this is just two dudes investigating. One guy, I'm too old for this shit, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like...
Surface level, it is very Lethal Weapon.
And as it just gets into it, I'm like, this is a brain screw.
Yeah, it's it's right from the start. It's fucked up. We have kind of a cold open of Morgan Freeman's character.
Well, there's an intro montage credit scene with 9 Inch Nails.
That's after the cold open.
Oh,
right?
Is it?
I think we have a cold open with Morgan Freeman at a crime scene, right?
Okay, maybe you're right.
By himself, where he shows up and it's like a grisly spousal abuse crime scene, and he sees like a kid's drawing on the refrigerator, and he's he's kind of like. He's a softie. Deep down, he's hurt by all these things that he's looking at, and so he asks the question: Did the kid see it? And the other detectives like basically chew him out, like, "Who the fuck cares if the kid saw it?" And it's like, oh, the kid, like just basic human decency, And then we go into the 9 Inch Nails video title sequence.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The 9 Inch Nails title sequence video, it gives you a whole bunch of information. It kind of puts you inside the killer's head.
Mm-hmm. It's a very 1995 aesthetic, right? Yeah. Like I was like, oh yeah, like all this stuff just sort of washes over you and puts you back in the time period. I was telling my wife, I said, I remember watching this movie at the theater and feel like I was watching a snuff film. Like it seemed like something illicit almost and really gritty.
Yeah, this is definitely it felt dark. It feels very period. Yeah. Like when I was watching it, I was like, man, I love this 90s aesthetic. Yeah. The movies like this where it's the very filtered vibe, and it's like the lighting, the way they're framing all the scenes, like this is such a 90s look, and I'm here for it.
I know we use the word often. We use this term neo-noir to describe things that we've been talking about because we're into this vibe, the neo-noir vibe. But there's so many levels to, like, noir means black, like how fucking black these movies get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is like way at the dark end. Like this is blackety black.
Yeah, and it's not just the topic and subject matter, but also just the look and the style. Because like Blade Runner is noir, neo noir, but it's not as sinister as all this.
Yeah, it's It's like the lighting choices of Blade Runner, but with the content of Saw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Saw. Saw was brought up multiple times in videos I was watching about this movie. Like, the maker of Saw was highly influenced by Se7ven.
Yes,
like punishing people.
I think that's James Wan. I think directed the first Saw movie, and I think he had to be thinking, what if instead of not showing all of the things, we just show all of the things in graphic detail.
Absolutely.
He's like, I hated in Se7ven how they didn't show us all the murder.
Yeah, so I had to draw pictures of my own for every one of the things, and they should have done 7, not just 5, and the 2 at the end.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Let's make 11 Saw movies.
I have all these pictures I drew.
Yeah, so James Wan, I hope James Wan sends a thank you card to David Fincher every Christmas. And, Christopher Nolan should probably send him one. Matt Reeves. There's a lot of people that should be sending thank you letters to David Fincher every year.
Absolutely. Fincher isn't a name I would have probably brought up in like a pantheon of directors who I really like their style, but he really has done some bangers, and this is one of them.
I don't think he has a whole lot of whiffs in his filmography. I think he's mostly put out successful movies, and he has a pretty varied filmography. Like, it's not all gritty crime thrillers. He goes kind of all over the place. He did The Social Network too.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
He does talky computer movies. He contains multitudes within him. So yes, we've mentioned his name several times. David Fincher is the director. It's written by Andrew Kevin Walker and edited by Richard Francis Bruce.
Yeah, so when do you go with 3 names? Those guys are 3-name dudes.
They are all 3 names. And Francis Bruce is a hyphenated name.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's probably...
That's like a last name thing.
It's like his mom and his dad's last name, I'm guessing. But
the other guy is just 3 names.
Andrew Kevin Walker. Yeah, he just used in the middle name. It's got a nice flow to it, though. It's just lyrical, Andrew Kevin Walker. And... the movie, it's very personal for him. I think he was someone that moved from the suburbs into New York City in the 80s. I kind of like the roughest time of it. Yeah. And thought it was really fucking scary there. And this movie is kind of about him being a suburban person dealing with the big city and how scary he thinks it is.
Yeah, he probably thought this stuff happened all the time, every day.
It is. I watched an interview with him at like an Austin Film Festival or something, and he was talking about how the Gwyneth Paltrow character is his self-insert character. That's the character that's saying like, I hate it here and it's scary. Like that's what he felt moving to the city in the 80s.
Absolutely. Yeah, this movie, it truly is a horror movie. It's a psychological horror. There's some violence and there's some grossness, but it really is just a psychological horror. They really do that Hitchcock thing where they leave it to your imagination and make you really think about it. Yeah. And I really love that style of horror way more than the graphic style.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. And, as we always say this, your imagination is always going to be worse. Just like that woman at the party that saw the decapitated head in the box. Like when you get to the lust killing, that one had always stuck with me. And then watching it, you see absolutely nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Even when you're in the room with the body, Brad Pitt's character is standing in front of the body, so the body is obscured and you can't see it. But you just have this sort of dual interrogation sequence with Brad Pitt's interrogating the guy that runs the sex club, and Morgan Freeman's interrogating the co-victim of the crime. And there's like a Polaroid picture that the leather shop guy took of the bladed strap-on. Yeah. And you see that picture of the thing, the strap-on device.
And you hear the guy's crying and talking about it.
And so you're just like, you're imagining it as he's describing what happens, and he doesn't even really give a detailed description of what happens. But you're just imagining it, and it's one of those things, like you mentioned Hitchcock, he makes the viewer complicit in the crime, right? Because you become the guy and you're like, you pick yourself in that position, and you become the perpetrator of the crime. And it's like, it's so fucked up. And then you watch the movie and you're like, they didn't actually show any of it. Yeah. You know, but you
could remember it being way worse.
Yeah, you could swear you saw this horrible stuff happen, and then you go back and watch it, and it doesn't show you anything but people in rooms.
Yeah, what do you think was the most horrific or psychologically horrific, or what was the gnarliest of the 7 deadly sins that for you?
I mean, I do think the lust one is the worst because of you have brought another person into it.
Yeah.
It's not just John Doe and his victim, and none of these victims deserve what they get. Even the sloth guy, who we hear is a terrible person, doesn't deserve to be tortured for a whole year.
Yeah. Basically, John Doe says he condemns all the people that had these things happen, but just being a shitty human being doesn't mean you should be tortured and killed.
Yeah, usually. You know, with exceptions. But sorry, Geneva Convention.
Sorry, Hitler.
Yeah. But this sort of person that he has brought into it and used as his murder weapon, essentially.
Yeah.
And is not physically harmed, but irreparably psychologically harmed by what happened.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That takes it to another level, because it's just collateral damage to him just for the poetry of the murder.
Yeah, so like when I was thinking about watching this movie, I would definitely say the lust one was the one that I was like, oh, I don't want to see that. Ugh. But in watching the movie, that one, since it was all just descriptions and it didn't give me the heebie-jeebies watching it quite as much as I think the sloth and the gluttony ones were just like so utterly rank.
Those are the ones we really linger on.
They're just
ones.
like,
and we see them more graphically than anything else.
Yeah.
Because like the Pride one, we don't like she's well and truly dead and all bandaged up when we see her. So that one that's
kind of a conceptual. Yeah. She'd rather kill herself than live. Horrific.
The one with Gwyneth Paltrow's character is also particularly horrific because she's pregnant and she's completely innocent in this whole thing. Like, she has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
He just kills, like, usually he's killing people because they've committed one of these sins, and he kills her to get someone to commit a sin.
Yeah, she's the bait.
Yeah. And so if any of the victims are completely innocent, it's Gwyneth's character.
Yeah.
So probably, actually, I'll put that top, Lust right behind it.
So Wrath's the worst, then Lust.
Yeah, Wrath is the worst. Because, again, like, these are both ones where he forces someone else to murder. Yeah, he forces someone else to murder. Like, he murders someone with someone else's hand.
Yeah.
Or strap on.
Well, yeah, not quite a hand. This is... these are gnarly. These are and I would say that the most tame one was probably Greed, maybe.
Yeah, we don't really see anything of Greed. We don't see anything of Greed, and we see very little.
He's just a murdered guy. He's supposedly a piece of shit.
And I don't really like. It was a lawyer, but like anyone in an office like that, I really don't care when they die. Like, I think we're on our 4th CEO assassinated this year. And I haven't shed a tear over that.
Yeah, they're not making the news like they really ought to. But, things are... Yeah. The Luigi clones are really racking them up.
Yeah. And I never go, Okay, that's how I react to that. So, like,
I know you're not supposed to like root for that kind of thing, but I'm just saying when I was a kid, I always played Luigi on the Nintendo because my older brother would always want to be Mario. Okay. So I've always been a Luigi guy. And whenever I played Mario Kart, I was always Luigi. Yeah. So it's like now I can't even be like I've been Luigi for life because people are like, you sicko.
Oh. There's lots of us that root for Luigi out there.
Also, Luigi's taller, and I'm a tall guy. So what are you gonna do?
He has the slow or the high jump, right? He jumps higher than Mario. Yeah. There's a lot of benefits to playing Luigi, just not for CEOs.
Yeah, no. If you're rich, don't play Luigi.
Yeah. So, what themes do we have going on? We've got the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
We've got the sort of our two detectives, our old detective representing apathy and our young detective, hopeful detective that thinks he can make a difference in the world.
Yeah, I had this down on my notes that apathy is the truest deadly sin. That's kind of the whole idea, the sermon that John Doe gives at the end. Basically, that society is indifferent and numb, and so kind of the meta message is that. Apathy isn't just a character flaw, it's a cultural disease.
Yeah.
And this is this idea, it's like the idea of the film, I guess, is asking society, are you paying attention to all of these things that are happening, or do you just not care?
Right.
Because we're all desensitized to all this stuff.
Yeah, and which, and we get to the end, that lack of desensitization that Mills, Brad Pitt's character, has is why he's able to be manipulated, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's a raw nerve. Like, he's out in this world and he's pissed off all the time about these things that he's seeing.
They filmed alternate endings to this.
Did they film alternate? I know there's multiple endings written, but I didn't know they actually
maybe I misconstrued it, but that they were filmed. But how supposedly Morgan Freeman's character kills him in one of them. Another one he like tries to stop him with his switchblade.
Yeah,
like
I don't think they filmed those, although maybe some of those got partially filmed or something like that. But definitely this movie was constantly both being actually rewritten, the ending, and rewrites being requested by the studio.
Yeah, supposedly when it ended, he shoots the guy, and then he's walking away, and you get that helicopter photo, and that's the end of the movie. That's when it cuts, and they tested it, and Fincher heard some people in the testing group because he was there, and they said whoever made that movie should be killed.
Yeah, I heard that one.
And and so that compelled him to add the coda, basically the outro, where you have Brad Pitt's character in a car, and you have, life goes on. You get a little resolution. It's not as raw of an ending.
Yeah, and I think I do think that's necessary. If it ended,
good storytelling.
If it ended right there, like, I would also be impressed at the sort of, like,
you just drop the mic, walk away.
Yeah, like, wow. That's a really degaff sort of ending. Like, you just don't give a fuck if anyone liked this or not. That's the end.
That's what David Lynch would have done.
Yeah, I know, totally. And it's like, and I would admire that, but I'm happy to kind of get a little more resolution than that. Even, and it's like, it's a bittersweet. I mean, it's just bitter ending, because Somerset, I get the impression he doesn't retire.
No, he just keeps going.
And Mills is at least going to probably spend some time in jail, because he just murdered an unarmed suspect.
Yeah, he'd get off on insanity, and he's a cop. And
yeah, I mean, he's not going to jail for life.
No,
but he won't be a cop anymore. After doing this.
Well, you would hope.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
It's New York. It's the 90s.
I shouldn't speak so soon. He probably would still be a cop. And
he'd be put on administrative leave with pay.
Yeah. And then they said, we found you did nothing wrong. We reviewed the tape, and I think he was going for a gun.
He definitely was armed.
Yeah. Actually, I'm keeping Wrath on at number one. There's two complicit people because the poor delivery driver gets made complicit in this too.
Yeah, he doesn't know what happens though because he runs off.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully he stays ignorant.
Imagine a blood-soaked Kevin Spacey comes up to you with a package and pays you $85 to deliver it to someone out in the desert. Would you do it?
I don't know, man. You deliver things. Would you do it? I certainly wouldn't.
No, I would say.
I need to contact my shop steward.
Yeah, I was like, I want to talk to. This needs to have a dispatch on it, and you're just giving me a bloody box. And I don't think I should take this.
I mean, someone shows up at my work with a bloody box. I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't think he's not doing his duty as a courier. But it's.
But I would bet in the modern day, because you can call Uber or whatever to deliver an item.
Yeah, Task Monkey, right?
Yeah, and just have it done.
Yeah, $85 is not that much money to drive out from LA to the desert. It's a
pretty far drive.
Yeah, that's a lot of traffic. I would want more money, but it was 1995.
That's true. That's probably like $160.
Yeah, double it. That's safe. Should we move on to the visuals?
Yeah.
So the cinematography is by Darius Kanji, and they use a color contrast enhancement technique that
called a bleach bypass.
Yeah, where it leaves more silver in the film strip than would normally be left in. And it makes it higher contrast, so the blacks are blacker and the lights are lighter, but it also makes it grittier. It adds so much more texture to it.
Yeah, I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, it is grimy as shit.
The desaturated color palette is it's so good.
Yeah, it's crazy because they filmed this movie in LA. And except for the last couple scenes as they're leaving the city and driving out to the desert, you would never guess that they're in LA because it's raining the whole time.
Yeah, it just never stops raining.
Yeah, gray sky, and it is just like, I was like, what city is this? Is this Chicago? Is this Philadelphia? Like, what is it? And then I look up where they filmed this. Like, this is all downtown LA. What the hell? Like,
just
how did they do
guys.
that? Yeah. Fincher said that it was raining when they were filming, and they had to keep the rain up for continuity. I don't know if that's kayfabe, and he's fudging it a little bit, because I just can't imagine it raining this much in LA while they're filming.
Yeah. It was insane. So I love the low lighting. I mean, I often refer back to Fight Club as kind of the gold standard for doing really characterful, accented, intentional lighting where the lighting is a character in the movie.
Yeah.
This is a precursor to that. It's more subtle than Fight Club, but not by a lot.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Blade Runner because, again, a rainy LA is very evocative of Blade Runner. Both Kanji and Fincher cited Clute as being inspiration for the look of this movie, which is like a neo-noir from the 70s.
Okay.
I've never seen it, but just looking at still images, I see what they're talking about, where you have totally dark rooms with single light sources or real world light sources.
Yeah.
Very often you've got Morgan Freeman going into a dark room and clicking on a flashlight, and that flashlight is lighting the scene. So there's very little light in it, just what the flashlight can illuminate.
Yeah, and the thing I really like about that is that it feels claustrophobic and it feels kind of threatening.
Yeah.
How you can't really see anything aside from that sort of that small area. You don't get any background. You can't see what's going on outside the windows, for example. You know, you just only get that little bit.
Because if there is a window, like some windows we see are papered over. Other times there's just a sheet of rain outside.
Yeah,
you know, it's not providing any useful light. Like when our first like murder scene, not counting the cold open, the first murder scene that we see with our two main characters is the gluttony one.
Yeah.
And you're discovering the scene at the same time as them, right? Like you're going into like you can tell it's a nasty house. But the details are very fuzzy until they shine the light on it. They go, oh, that's a lot of spaghetti sauce, you know, and they go over here and it's like, and they kind of, and then like, as Brad Pitt's like, what's this under, there's a bucket under the table. What is it? And then he's like, oh, it's full of vomit, you know? Like,
and I guess it really stunk because they set that up days in advance and the food, like the spaghetti sauce and stuff had been out,
let it sit there
that whole time. And it was just absolutely rank. And the dude the actor who was wearing the prosthetic, the bodysuit or whatever, he kind of had to sit in it and like be in it the longest. Other people were like leaving, you know, but he kind of had to be there. And so that's why they made a huge prosthetic hog for him as kind of like, at least you're going down, you know.
I heard that he got it so bad. They're like, well, give him a big dick.
Yeah, so at least he can be like, yeah, that wasn't a prosthetic. That was real.
Yeah, I was going to save this till we talked about acting, but since you bring that guy up, he has one other credit. And do you know what movie, the other movie he's on screen in?
What?
He's the body double for Fat Bastard in Austin Powers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
So he's got two iconic roles. One where you never see his face, and the other where his face is in a bowl of spaghetti.
Well, I guess he's got his thing, you know?
He's just a bit...
He needs to get an agent. So.
Yeah. And actually, while we're talking about this guy, and geez, I should scroll ahead and say what his name is, Bob Mack. He also wrote all those songs for the old Mr. T TV special.
Huh.
Like, you know, like he's like, we don't got to bring nobody's mama into this, you know, like those songs.
Yeah.
He wrote all the Mr. T songs. So he's Fat Bastard, Gluttony, and he wrote all the Mr. T songs.
And has a huge hog.
And he has a huge hog. I saw it.
Wow, yeah. Renaissance man.
Yeah. Again, like Fincher, he contains multitudes.
Well, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. Production design is by Arthur Max. And he did gnarly drawings of all of these, like all of the sets and everything. Just like I was watching like him go through and like slideshow of all of his drawings, and I just decided I've had enough of this. Like I don't need to keep watching this.
One of the cool camera things I learned about afterwards, and then in retrospect, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Whenever John Doe is like talking, especially after he surrenders or whatever, they had the camera on like a steady cam rig or whatever. But then whenever Brad Pitt, Mills' character is talking, like whenever a camera is focused on him, it's being held by a cameraman with no stabilization.
Oh, okay.
And so just the human factor, it naturally moves. And so we have this idea that Mills is kind of chaotic and frazzled, but John Doe is just completely focused and totally put together.
Yeah.
And I just love that kind of meta commentary.
That's really, now that you bring that up, I can see that in my mind's eye. The camera's very frantic when Mills is the focus.
Well, and it goes along, we'll talk about the performances later. It goes along with the performances. Yeah. They play it up.
Yeah, and there was another thing we are bringing that up as the way that Fincher composes his frames. Who is important in the frame changes, right?
Yeah, I love the way the focus goes back and forth depending on who matters.
And like in the early stuff in the police station, where you have when Somerset is asking to have Mills reassigned. He's like, he doesn't want to take this case because he can tell from the first murder that this is going to be a serial killer thing, and he's trying to retire at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can't take on a serial killer. This will go forever. And also he doesn't think Mills is up for it because he's a bumpkin, and he isn't up for it. He's not ready for this.
Absolutely not. The guy manipulates him into killing someone.
Yeah. And so they go to see the sergeant, who's played by Arlie Ermey. And
he's a captain, by the way.
Oh, captain. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for keeping track of the rank. And Somerset's a lieutenant.
I think he's just a detective. Okay. He might be a lieutenant detective. But.
Yeah. Anyways, they are the focus of the scene. Arlie Ermey and Morgan Freeman are the focus of the scene, and Brad Pitt is trying to get in, fighting for screen time, basically.
Absolutely.
And the camera shows us that. They show it. He's sat off to the side, and he's trying to interject into the conversation, and they're both kind of like shushing him, and he's like can't quite get there. And as Somerset opens up to him over the course of the movie and they become close, he shares more of the screen time with Morgan Freeman. Like, the camera also opens up to him as Somerset opens up to him.
That focus thing is really key through the movie. Like when Mills is chasing the guy through the city, and then he ends up getting like bushwhacked next to the garbage truck, and he's just like, his face is in focus, but the guy with the gun, it's out of focus, and there's rain, and all you can kind of see is the barrel of the gun. That is an iconic image from this movie. It's so good.
Yeah, and it's so rainy, and he's so flustered chasing this guy that he just gets the drop on him.
Absolutely.
And he's sure he's going to die, and that totally comes through. And because the movie is as sort of fucked up as it is, you don't know as a viewer that he's not going to die. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like the kind of movie where they could kill the guy you thought was the lead.
Hitchcock, he's just copying Hitchcock.
Yeah, and so, like, when he puts the gun to his head, like, it's real, you got some real anxiety, like, real stakes. The movie has stakes all the way through. So just, like, I guess this is more storytelling than visuals, but, like, the pacing of the movie is immaculate.
Well, I mean, it did get editing nomination.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just, like, it clips along, it slows down and ramps up, and you are, like, proper white knuckling it through the whole thing. Even kind of like when it slows down and we have, like, sweet scenes, like their little supper party at the apartment, and our two detectives finally officially meet each other. Like, they learn, like, Gwyneth, like, forces them to learn each other's first names.
Ugh.
Like, it was very much like, it's like, oh, this is David. Like, because she knows they've only called each other Somerset and Mills. They have not ever used each other's first names because she's a cop wife and she knows how these guys operate.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the military. I like last names better.
You like last names better. It's just, yeah. What do you do when you have, like, multiple people with the same last name?
Yeah, it's
like Smith or Singh, or like those common.
You say names. Like the ugly one.
The ugly, yeah, Old Smith, Fat Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
While we're talking visuals, the costume designer is Michael Kaplan, and art direction by Gary Weissner. The costume design is great storytelling too. I love all the details. Like, Somerset doesn't look like he's bought clothes for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's wearing 1970s clothes, and they were old-fashioned in the 1970s. And then Mills doesn't look like he knows how to wear grown-up clothes. Like, he's got those, like, wrinkly, over-baggy dress shirts, and all of his ties already tied and hanging on a hanger, which I completely copied when I had to start wearing ties as a teenager with a job. I was like, I didn't never attribute it to Se7ven, but that's clearly where I learned it because I kept all of my ties
and all of
like that on a hanger.
His ties were all weird in some way. Like, they weren't, and evidently the whole tie thing, that was a Brad Pitt-ism.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to show that Mills didn't have style. He wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And so he had, like, wonky ties. They weren't tied nicely or whatever. Everything, like, he wanted to show that Mills wasn't cool.
Yeah, I think Gwyneth tied the ties for him, and then he would just never untie them. That's how I imagine it, because that's my girlfriend tied my ties for me, and then I hung them on a hanger just like that. That's how that worked.
You know, I took my ties off, untied them, and retied them every workday.
That looks so much nicer, you know. Like, yeah, it's.
But I won't say that wasn't because I didn't want to. It's because my dad showed me how to tie it and said, "You don't want to look like an idiot, do you?"
Yeah.
It shamed me.
It shamed you, yeah. Yeah, that's, you know, that works.
That's not one of the 7 deadly sins.
It's shame. It's not one of the 7 deadly sins.
Might as well be.
Shame is considered a virtue, I think, in the church.
I think so.
They traffic in shame. Let's go on to the audio.
All right.
Sound design by Rin Kleiss with
Howard Shore as the score.
Yeah, Howard Shore is the score, and Steve Boddicker is the other sound designer.
Man, this movie sounds good.
It does, and it's all mixed together. The sound design, the score, and then like the diegetic needle drops, like the Gravity Kills playing in the sex club, or Gwyneth having the Marvin Gaye record playing when they have dinner. It's all just like, it's also interwoven with each other.
I really liked that mix of Closer, like how gritty and kind of I don't know, just distorted.
I think it's the remix by the guy from Coil, I think.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty gnarly industrial remix that I really liked. That
I know it's in my notes here.
I really liked how this this movie used music for people. Like John Doe he was a classical music guy. Mm-hmm.
And Somerset awesome. Listened to classical when he's at the library, the very ornate 24-hour library you can go into in the middle of the night.
Is that a thing?
No, that's not a thing anywhere where the library's empty, but for a bunch of poker-playing security guards.
Yeah, not even the Library of Congress. You can't go in at night.
Yeah, but very vibe, like very atmospheric. That's a very cool library, and it's a completely constructed set. Okay. Because there's no library like that in LA.
You know, I think that library probably exists in the world of John Wick as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
That is the library where John Wick had his Ruska Roma, his whatever thing he had to go and collect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Se7ven is in the John Wick world. Probably
that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me at all. There are certain. There's certain aesthetic similarities. There's a lot of neon in the John Wick world, and in John Doe's apartment, he's got all his neon crosses. And stuff.
I think we got something here.
There's a connection there. So we talked about the diegetic background sounds. Mm-hmm. It's always raining. There's always
and we're from the Northwest, so the sound of rain is actually comforting.
Yeah,
I like it. But in this movie, it's almost oppressive. Ominous. Yeah, it's just too much.
Like one of the first times they go out together, the two detectives, and you have Brad Pitt standing out in the rain like a wet dog holding his 2 cups of coffee. Yeah. And then Somerset declines the cup of coffee, and then Brad Pitt doesn't want the coffee because what they're looking at is disgusting. And so like both coffees are abandoned, and the what I guess you'd call like a gesture of friendship or attempt to make connection is just rebuffed. He's like, no, I don't want that. But we're talking about sound. I'm sorry. I'm drifting off as I'm remembering the scene. All of those things are coming back to me. the city noises, like you hear people like yelling all the time, and just like
and like the train going by when they're having dinner. That's what made me think, like, is this New York or something?
Yeah, because there's no elevated trains in Los Angeles. No. There is a very short subway, and it's not anywhere near where the apartment is kind of shown to be. But for this sort of, it's not really LA. It's LA playing Gotham, right? Like it's LA being the worst city in the world.
I mean, it might be.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I don't hate LA.
Yeah, but it's like, it is this sort of...
It's not a top 10 city, though.
Yeah, so. It's like a sort of just an avatar of urban decay, right? Like it's not absolutely. Any one city, it's everything that's wrong with all cities.
Yeah, this also doesn't have anything to do with sound or audio, but I kind of feel like movies in the 90s were a lot of them were channeling this kind of gothic punk darkness, this world of darkness, like Vampire the Masquerade is World of Darkness. We have, you got The Crow, you got all of these movies, you got Fight Club, all of this whole idea of how there's just, the world is trash. It's terrible. And so they make these extremely stylized, terrible versions of the world where there's nothing is good.
Yeah, I feel like there's some scene where I think Morgan Freeman's riding in a taxi cab. This is maybe when he's going to the library, and there's some guy just getting drugged through the street as they drive by, right? Like just getting an ass whooping. Mm-hmm. And it is like not worth notice to anyone. This guy like on the ground getting kicked to shit. And because it's just that kind of place where it's like, that's just a normal argument, like that doesn't even register to our detective.
Snake Plissken wouldn't care. He would just keep going.
He doesn't even care who the president is. So you mentioned the score by Howard Shore, the great Howard Shore. I think most famous now for the Lord of the Rings scores, but he would have been coming in hot off of Silence of the Lambs, which I think is probably what's getting him the job here, because that's in the DNA of this movie. I think there's a lot of Silence of the Lambs here. Yeah,
I like how it doesn't use traditional like thriller and horror movie cues, but it kind of acts as almost like this oppressive atmospheric soundscape of a score. It blended in nicely. It didn't fade. It wasn't forgettable, but it never kind of like, it wasn't doing the whole psycho
you're not gonna walk away humming the theme like from the gluttony scene. I like
how it was, I guess tasteful would be the word.
Yeah, and so I was listening to the score, and it's not an easy listen, I don't think. It's there's really nothing in it as anthemic as, say, the Lord of the Rings score. It's very discordant, like these weird notes and like that sort of awkward bow pull across a string, like a lot of those sounds where it feels like the cello or the violin or the viola or whatever is fighting with the undercurrent of the song that's playing. And it's just like, even though it's super effective, it's not something like I'm going to sit down and ever listen to the Se7ven score. Just like, it's like, oof, this is a tough listen. I actually switched. I was listening to the score, and there was a playlist on Spotify that worked in the needle drops of the soundtrack into it. And I was like, okay, it's a lot more listenable if I've got like creepy Howard Shore crime scene song, and then a Marvin Gaye song, and Gravity Kills or whatever. Like if I get these little spacers of actual songs that I can kind of wrap my head around before I go back to the sort of like atmospheric bad vibes.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you are gonna put on a score of any movie, just for like for whatever reason, what's your go-to score?
I mean, I think Conan the Barbarian is my favorite score.
Yeah, I think Conan the Barbarian might be, but also Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah. Oh, I like all the Arnold Schwarzenegger scores. That I don't know if that was in his contract, that they're all bangers.
Epic music.
Yeah, but like most, because I had this, when I first got my first CD player when I was 16, one of the very first CDs I bought was called Arnold, the music of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And It was just like a few songs kind of from every Schwarzenegger
I wonder
score.
if you could like find that on Spotify or whatever.
That CD?
Yeah, like that comp.
Yeah, probably.
And if not, you could make it. Just make a playlist.
Yeah, and be even more thorough. Put the whole score, not just excerpts from it.
That's true, but sometimes there's a beauty in
a curated,
curated, intentional. Because I was doing that a couple weeks back with Opeth's music. Mm-hmm. Like I was just putting like the bangers from each album, but then I was like, no. I'm gonna put the heavy, aggressive ones from each album on this, and then the chillaxed ones on this one, and then a third one, the very best of top 10 songs. So like I think like a haiku, having limitations enhances it.
You know, Volume 2, which I did not own, is definitely on Spotify. Best of Arnold Schwarzenegger Volume 2, but I don't see Volume 1.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Swing and a miss, Spotify.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do we have anything else to say about the sound?
Nah, let's move on to performances.
Let's move on to performances. Who do you got first?
Brad Pitt has David Mills.
He is the top billed.
Yeah. He kind of ruled the world in the 90s.
Yeah, but this is really his like coming out party of like, I'm more than a pretty face. I'm a real actor. Mm-hmm. And I think he'd already shown that. He's given some good performances before now.
Through the whole movie, he's excellent.
Yeah.
But the final, the crescendo, the wrath scene is just amazing. Like when he's like crying and then he's like angry and then he's crying again.
Yeah.
And the way he asks what's in the box, you know,
and his voice kind of cracks.
Yeah.
That's
acting,
the iconic. Yeah.
It's so good.
I think Brad Pitt in this time period can be a little ham-fisted with some of his performances. But Fincher made the comment about like when you're casting people, you're casting the person that has the right thing inside of them to portray this character. Mm-hmm. And he was in his acting career where Mills is in his police career, where he's sort of desperate. He's been doing this for a while, you know, like you said, I've been doing Homicide for 5 years. He's been acting for a while and he's been in some big movies, but he wants to be taken seriously and move.
He wants to take it to the big leagues.
He wants to go to the big city, and that's where Brad Pitt was in his career. And so it's not a reach for Brad Pitt to play this guy because this guy is him, basically.
Yeah.
He's playing himself. And so these emotions are very available to him without having to go very far for him. And there's a few things, like the one you just mentioned is the standout. I love the one after he's been donked in the head with the tire iron.
Yeah.
And he goes and kicks open the door to the John Doe's apartment without a search warrant because he's just so fucking mad that he can't not do it. And he's like, we'll figure it out after I've already kicked the door.
And they just pay a street person to lie.
Yeah. And say you called us. Yeah. But it's, or even like some of the lighter stuff, like where, when they come to the apartment and he goes, how are the kids? And she says, they're good. They're in the other room. And you see him run in there. And those are Brad Pitt's real dogs that they have in the apartment.
Oh.
And he just goes in there and rolls around on the floor with the dogs for a little bit while Morgan Freeman and
that only works when it's his dogs.
Yeah, because the dogs are really that excited to see him.
Yeah.
And so, that scene they all just sort of play beautifully. And just, there's so many great little moments. And I'll move off it after this one. When he moves into Somerset's office and he gets the big desk.
Yeah.
But Somerset hasn't left yet, so he moves over to the corner desk and he's feeling really awkward about it. Like, he's like, do do you want your chair? And he's like, no, it's fine. Keep the chair. And like, you know, and it's just like how uncomfortable he is going in and sitting in the big chair in that sequence.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Brad Pitt does a great job. He's an excellent leading man in this movie, and it's just in general.
In general. Next, I've got Morgan Freeman as
the
his
other
partner.
kind of the co-lead of the movie.
Yeah, and like he drives the movie. You know what I mean? Like he's the steady hand at the wheel through the whole movie.
I mean, he's the adult in the room pretty much the whole time.
The whole time, yeah. And he comes to really love Mills over the course of the movie, but he is always trying to kind of keep him on a leash through the whole thing, like and be like, that's not how we do this. Like, here's how grown-ups do police work, and trying to be that calm and steady person. And that's who Morgan Freeman is, IRL. He is that veteran he's been around the block and seen it all, and brings that energy into the performance.
I have loved him since I saw him in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh, Azim. Yeah, fuck yeah.
That was my first exposure to him as an actor, and I was just immediately sold. I love that movie.
That is before this, isn't it?
And I was just like, this movie rules. This guy rules. Yeah, it's from 1991.
Yeah.
And I love this. I watched that movie a million times. Our buddy Heath, he watched the movie with me a bunch.
Yeah.
And Azim was an amazing character. And so every time I saw, like, there were other people who were like sleeping on Morgan Freeman, but when I saw him in this movie, I was like, this is going to be a good one.
You know, people sleep on Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves a little bit.
That movie's awesome.
I know we all kind of like to laugh at that obnoxious Brian Adams song from the soundtrack. Brian Adams is a different guy.
Whatever.
But, you know, that's a pretty damn fun movie, you know?
Absolutely.
It's an adventure movie. It's not
like it's got Will Scarlet in it. It's got, you know.
Fuck me, they cleared it. Like I could quote Robin Hood for all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that movie. So that's when Morgan Freeman, like, I became like ride or die for his movies.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my whole life. So yeah, I was stoked
when he throws his scimitar at that witch.
Oh, that's the best.
And then his blood debt is fulfilled, right? Because he's saved Robin. Yeah,
it's so good. If you haven't watched Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in like a minute,
I'm gonna add it to the notes.
You gotta go and watch it. You will like it. I guarantee that you'll like it. You can't not like it. It has so many good people in it. It's like Christian Slater's in that movie. Like,
why am I blanking on Professor Snape? And God, what is his name? He's so great.
Yeah, I can't remember either. The Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah.
I'm just drawing a blank. So great movie. Anyway, Morgan Freeman in this movie is essentially the adult in the room. He lends the gravitas to every scene. He keeps it real. He's
Alan Rickman.
Always reminding his partner how to be a cop. It's like, listen, we're not vigilantes here. We're cops. We got to do the cop thing.
Yeah. Oh God. Because that's the second half of the Brad Pitt kicking the door in is Morgan Freeman. He goes, "You dumb son of a bitch," and he just says it, with such contempt. Like he's just like, "Oh, we're gonna."
If you've ever worked with someone who was like that, if you were the adult in the room, I think that was you and me actually when we were teenagers.
Sure.
But like I had a guy in the army that was that guy that would just do the dumb, and I always had to be the guy who was doing the right thing, and I was like, "Oh, you dumb motherfucker!" And so I feel for him in that moment.
You feel for him there?
Yeah, I love that performance. It's so good.
Yeah.
Next up, I had Gwyneth Paltrow as Tracy Mills. She's Detective Mills' wife. She's lonely the whole movie. She doesn't want to be in this gross-ass, scary city. She'd like to move somewhere nice, have some kids maybe.
Yeah, they moved from, like, really say, because they never say what city this was, so they never say where they moved from, but they moved from the suburbs into the big city. Mm-hmm. And she gave up her job. You know, she was a 5th grade teacher.
Never should have given that up.
Yeah, and it's like
a pension.
Borderline, she's a victim of the movie, right? Like where she's fridged, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in her few scenes, she imbues such humanity into the character. She really only has like 2 scenes, like the supper party and when she meets Somerset for breakfast at the diner.
Yeah, and then she's spiced into a few like small scenes. Like,
like when he comes home and gets into bed with her.
Yeah, that stuff. Kind of thing. She's here and there, but not that often, not all the time. But yeah, you could call it a small role, but the character itself is pivotal to the movie. It's the catalyst for the 7th sin and the 6th, I guess.
Yeah.
John Doe's envy.
Yeah. So like, even though she's a fridged wife, and that's sort of like a problematic stereotype, she does the most with it. Like I think we've all kind of gotten used to a caricature of Gwyneth Paltrow and sort of forget that when she's locked in, she can bring it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it was like we've gotten used to her sort of phoning it in through Iron Man movies and selling vagina candles online and doing her weird stuff. And
yeah, she's just crazy at this point.
And you're like, oh, she's a really good actress. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, she's been in some good movies. I mean, you know, iconic roles like in Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal,
you know, the big ones.
I'm sure that's what she wants you to go to.
That's what she wants you to think of her as. Shallow Hal and vagina candles. But yeah, she's good.
This is your movie. Legacy, Gwyneth Paltrow.
I hope she listens.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
She's probably
one of our
like
original
the 49th cultist. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we have a little. Let's jump to Kevin Spacey. He's way down in the credits, but he is sort of the next.
He wasn't even credited on the poster. They wanted to leave it as a surprise that he's in this movie.
They simultaneously, this is my understanding, both Kevin Spacey and David Fincher had the idea that he should not be in the opening credits because it's going to give away the twist.
Yeah.
And Fincher called Spacey's agent to ask if it was okay to omit him from the credits. And the agent was like, actually, that's what Kevin wants. And so it's like, perfect. We are on the same page because, you know, Spacey was correct. He had become a much more high profile actor at this point. And if you had seen his name in the credits and then he doesn't show up for an hour in the movie, you'd be like, he's the guy. Kevin Spacey's the guy.
Yeah, he's a big name. You know, he's a good character actor.
And, you know, I don't know. We don't want to get into Kevin Spacey's, the allegations against him. He's a
creep.
He's now persona non grata. And I think when we look back at his filmography in the light of him being sort of outed as a manipulative creep, and you're like, oh, he just plays all these sort of deadpan psychopaths, and he's really good at it because maybe it's a little close to the surface. Just like Brad Pitt is the hothead and Morgan Freeman is the steady hand, and Gwyneth is the doting wife.
I mean,
Kevin Spacey is actually the dead-eyed psycho.
Yeah, you want to cast people who are naturally the way you want them.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, he's kind of a robot.
Yeah.
He's kind of a weirdo.
Don't sue us. That's not libel. That's just what we say.
No, it's an observation. This is criticism of a piece of art.
Yeah.
We can do this. Yeah. Anyway, he does really well. It's one of those things, separate the art from the artist. This is a good portrayal in this character. He's very creepy.
I think this is one of those cases where it is easier to separate the art from the artist on account of you're supposed to not like this guy. And I'll throw Brad Pitt under the bus a little bit. It's not like when you read the stuff that Angelina Jolie says about Brad Pitt, and then you go watch a movie where he's the star and you're like, oh, this guy was a shitty husband and a bad dad. Like, and it kind of hurts it when you're looking at it. When you look at Kevin Spacey, you're like, oh yeah, this creep, he is a real creep. This all works for me because my negative impression of him carries over into the character.
Yeah. But it might not lend to you appreciating the performance as excellent acting.
But it is. It is really excellent. Like the scene where he follows them in to the police station, and like you said, how everyone's so jaded. There's a blood-covered man walking into this police station.
And he's like yelling.
And everyone is ignoring him until like he screams, basically. It's like no one has the time of day for this guy.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the signature scenes in the movie.
Yeah. Detectives!
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, it's so, and he cuts his fingertips off and like yeah. So he's such a twisted character. And that it's like a three-hander in the car as they drive out to the desert. Morgan Freeman driving and Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey trying to get under each other's skin as they drive out there, and they're both pretty successful at pushing the other person's buttons. Like Pitt can kind of like wound Kevin Spacey a little bit about like he's like you're just a movie of the week villain, you kill innocent people, and Brad Pitt or Kevin Spacey, John Doe doesn't want to spoil the reveal, but he's like bouncing in his seat about like his plan all coming together.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, and it's like sick and twisted and just brilliantly acted.
Yeah, I mean, there are some other people in here.
Yeah.
Like Arlie Ermy
as our police captain. He was very unhappy with David Fincher. We're used to Arlie Ermy yelling, right? Like, what was his first movie? Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket.
Because he was an actual Marine Corps drill sergeant.
No, he wasn't. He's an honorary gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps.
Is that true? He was not a real. Wow, he just has played that guy a lot.
Yeah,
crazy. But we're used to Arlie Ermy at 11, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he is very restrained in this movie. And he actually, I think he auditioned for the John Doe part originally, and that was what he was hoping to play. And he was on a leash in this movie and was not happy with Fincher about it. He had a lot of bad stuff to say about Fincher not letting you act and stuff like that. But
just fact checking myself, he was in the Marine Corps. So
okay,
yeah, okay.
Good due diligence there, so someone doesn't come at us in the comments. Yeah, I like him dialed back, and same with Richard Roundtree. As the district attorney, Martin Talbot. That's John Shaft. We're used to him being
absolutely
being the cool black private dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks. And like here you're getting a very subdued Richard Roundtree. And it just adds tension. Like the fact that you have all these tough guys not acting out.
It's just like From Dusk Till Dawn, when they're in the bar and they haven't started fighting.
They haven't, but they never really
They never do, yeah.
Arlie Ermy never pops off. Richard Roundtree never kicks any ass or has sex with any chicks. It's they both are just
wasted.
Very subdued. John C. McGinley from Scrubs as the SWAT team leader.
Yeah, you don't really ever think of him as like kind of a tough guy, but he's pretty badass.
Before Scrubs, most of his roles were like army guy and tough cop and stuff like that. Before Scrubs, the whole movie, I'm like looking at him trying to be like, is that the guy from Scrubs? Is the guy in the helicopter the guy from Scrubs? Like, and it's like, yeah, it is him. Wow.
That's an all right show.
Yeah, it's
not bad.
It's probably on Comedy Central right now. If you turn it on, if you have like TV like that's not streaming.
Yeah. For my money though, if I'm going to watch one of those medical dramedy things, I'm going with House.
Yeah, I know you're a big do I have your house DVDs? I have somebody's house DVDs.
They're probably mine. I think.
They probably are yours. I don't, like, every time I sort through my DVDs, I go, whose house DVDs are these? Someone loaned me these.
It's good. Have you ever watched it? Because it's really good. It's really good.
I see clips on TikTok sometimes. just the hits, just the highlights of House. I like my bite-sized House. Yeah. Mark Boone Jr., Bobby Elvis from Sons of Anarchy as greasy FBI man.
I like Bobby Elvis on that show.
Yeah. I like him in this, and I feel like him being in this directly leads to him being the hotel manager in Memento.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Memento's heavily indebted to this movie.
Absolutely. Same universe as John Wick also.
Yeah. It's like there's this lineage of these movies, and you can see how people are like, ooh, he's good in this, and like picking people up.
We should make like a list of movies that are all in the same universe.
Oh yeah,
they're in this universe
and how they connect to each other. Yeah, that's a project
that'd be fun
that we could get into. Yeah, I've got all the murder victims and everything, but we can skip over that.
Yeah, that's a big meh.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's son Alfonso is the fingerprint technician.
Oh.
And Andrew Kevin Walker, the writer, makes a cameo appearance as a corpse in the cold open of the movie.
Wow.
All right, let's get to the wrap up. What's your personal highlight?
I think it has to be the climax of What's in the Box scene.
Okay, good. I'm glad you picked that.
Because, I mean, there's so many good scenes in this movie that are like really good one-offs, but this is the scene with the Morgan Freeman looking down in the box and being like, oh no, and
gets on the radio. He goes, John Doe has the upper hand.
Yeah. And then Mills, like, he knows what's in the box, but he needs it to be verified, and it hurts. The performance from all three of the actors in the scene, it's just riveting because you're just going from face to face to person, and you're like, oh my god, what is happening? Is he going to do it? I knew he was going to do it because I've seen it before, but I don't know. Like, if I would have done it, I probably would have done it.
Yeah, and that's the fucked up thing in that scene is you as the audience. I don't know that I would have been happy with anything other than him doing it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Because you do, like he says, become wrath, right? And it is one of those things where wrath is absolutely justified. Mm-hmm. And
that's what wrath's for.
Yeah.
Avenging the fallen.
Yeah, it is this like righteous killing, and you're so upset because she's done nothing but be a fucking
she's
saint.
Just awesome.
She's just this dedicated wife, and you're just like, yeah, fucking shoot him. And he shoots him, and then he shoots him like 3 more times.
Yeah,
right?
just popping caps. Love it.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, every one of those, because like Hitchcock makes you complicit in the crime, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, yes, I am wrath.
Yeah, you're celebrating it. You're joining him. You're loving it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, beautiful sequence.
It's my favorite scene. What about you? What's your personal highlight?
I'm glad you picked that one because that was my runner up. But my personal highlight scene is the sloth house.
Oh gosh, that one's so gnarly
because it's like you have a false hope at that point in the movie that they're making progress, right? Like they've got a good clue and they figured something. It's like the first thing they figured out. They got behind the painting, they found the fingerprints, and the fingerprints have led them to another thing. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, they're on the case. These guys, they're working together and they're solving crimes. And we come in with the SWAT team, and the SWAT team are these like loudmouth dickheads, you know, and they're like, SWAT before dicks, and going in ahead of the detectives or whatever. And then they get in there and they're like, dicks, get in here. And it's like, it's this exciting police sequence, but the deeper you get into it, the more tension is building, right? Because you get in that apartment and immediately you see the the air fresheners hanging on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, something stinks in there. Like you're like, you don't hang 1,000 air fresheners from the ceiling because things smell good. Something's bad, and you know something bad is coming. And then you get in there and you see this body laid out on the bed, and it's like this emaciated, desiccated corpse. It looks horrific, and there's these like pictures of a whole year, like of the body declining, and you're like, oh God, so grisly.
Yeah.
And then the body's still fucking alive.
That scene really gets me. Oh man.
When the guy from Scrubs, he leans in and he whispers, "You got what you deserved." And then what we think is a corpse takes a breath, like a shocked breath.
Yeah.
And everyone, the characters and the audience, were all completely sure this is a body. And this is not a zombie movie where bodies come to life.
Yes.
And the fact that guy is still alive, it's like, I found myself like literally, I'm leaning forward in my seat. You know what I mean? And holding onto the armrest of the chair. Like, it's like, I'm so gripped by that scene, and when he jumps up, I jump too, just like everyone else jumps.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, and then from the rest of the movie, you're like, what the hell's going to happen? Like, it's just like, that is the moment in the movie where you get the rug is pulled and you feel like anything could happen. Anyone can die. Anyone can be alive. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, that's a really excellent scene.
Yeah. What worked for you?
All right, so I think the cinematography is really, really good. It's innovative. It's also influential.
Oh, so influential.
Like what, Darius Kanji? He's awesome. Like, he's so good. I love how this movie this looks, like the high contrast lighting, the super deep shadows, how it's desaturated. It's kind of got like a sickly, almost sepia, but not quite. It's not yellowy like sepia. It's almost just like a sick off-white vibe. And just the visual style of this movie is immaculate. It's like, it looks so good. I would love it if life looked like this.
I don't think you would.
No, I would hate it.
I think you're already very susceptible to like the seasonal affective disorder.
Absolutely, yeah. I love
living in this world would kill you.
Yeah, you don't get the sun until the last scene in this movie, so it's pretty gnarly. But I just love how this movie looks.
Yeah.
Along that line, I would say the atmosphere that they have in this movie. I love this era of 90s filmmaking. Yeah. This, it feels weird to talk about 90s filmmaking like it's retro or whatever, but it's 30 years old. It certainly has a vibe. It has a thing, and it's so good. Like, obviously, it was the time I was a teenager, and so I fell in love with it. But objectively, it's really cool. Yeah. Like, it looks great. The moody, vibey, kind of gritty, filthy, darkness, and everything's so thought-provoking. Like, every filmmaker really just wants to like ask you a question and make you think about your whole life.
And this right now you still haven't watched the Batman, have you?
No, I have not.
God, everything you're saying says you should watch the Batman.
It's like 90s filmmaking.
It's like Se7ven with Batman.
Oh, okay. I should watch the Batman. I swore off comic book movies. I haven't watched it, but I guess I can make an exception.
You should watch the Batman. It's so your vibe.
And then the last one is performances. Mm-hmm. This cast is excellent. I mean, really, the Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman thing. I'm a big fan of both of those actors. I think Kevin Spacey and Gwen Paltrow, while smaller parts, they give excellent performances.
Yeah, essential small parts.
Yeah, I would say that Morgan Freeman is my favorite performance of the movie.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about that is how many scenes where he just doesn't say anything.
He doesn't have to.
He just looks at you, like looks at Brad Pitt.
Absolutely, he is like, and it's like him. And there are just certain actors that they don't have to talk a lot. They can just emote, and they can just be, and they can just you just know what's happening, and he's that good. His charisma is 20. He's just he's got it maxed out. It's just very excellent. So what about you? What worked for you?
I'll brush over atmosphere and cast because you just covered those thoroughly, and I will talk about the pacing.
Oh yeah,
this is it's an edge of your seat thriller. It's a white knuckle movie. Lean forward, hold your breath, go for the ride. This movie like gets a hold of you and drags you through it. And we've watched a few movies with awkward pacing recently before this, like Salem's Lot and stuff, like movies that you really slog through. Oof. And this is not a short movie, right? Like it's not like this is a 90-minute film. It's just a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
But you are locked in with the pace, and it's like the perfect pace for the story.
It felt quick.
Yeah, it's trucking. Like it just has this clip to it. And the other thing I want to highlight is like what it doesn't show you. It makes you like you remember the movie as being more gruesome and fucked up than the movie actually is.
Absolutely.
And that is just, to me, is so much more effective. The example, just because this is fresh in my mind, the remake of Salem's Lot, the sequence when we stab the vampire through the back of the head, right? And we're looking through the hole in his mouth, like through his mouth out the back of his head.
Yeah.
I laugh. When I see stuff like that, I laugh.
It is funny.
That is not horrific to me in any way. That is comedy, and it's fun, and I love it. This movie, the things it doesn't show me, just having the mortician talk about how they fed the guy until he was ready to burst and then kicked him in the stomach and he exploded.
Yeah.
We don't see that, but like the imagery of the language is so evocative that your mind paints a picture of it. And that is how you make horror, to me, is by not showing it and making you think about it.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of horror.
Yeah. And so my addition to what you said is the pacing and the what it doesn't show you.
Awesome.
This is a little bit tougher. What didn't work for you?
I don't like the buddy cop trope, the old guy, young guy.
Really?
I'm too old for this shit. Gee golly, blah, blah, blah. I don't like the trope. I just think it's tired.
Okay.
These two actors are amazing actors.
Yeah.
But they could have, like, seriously, this could have been, you could cast these two guys to be literally, one is a senior retiring circus clown and the other is a new junior clown, and it would be an amazing movie.
It would still be
awesome because they are who they are.
Yeah.
I don't like this trope. I don't like movies about cops because it's so done. It's just so fucking done.
Do you? And I agree. We feel the same way. Do you feel slightly different about homicide detectives than we feel about like street cops?
Oh, about like choke you out racist cops?
Yeah, exactly. Like people that are out solving crimes as opposed to.
And I realize some of the cultists have family members that are cops. And actually, like one of my buddies is a cop. What's
it like to be friends with a bastard?
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. It's not that I hate cops. It's that I hate injustice and corruption. And it's just so common in that profession. Yeah. But I'm not, even just aside from that, my societal views, I'm just tired of this trope.
Okay.
It's kind of like watching war movies about the Middle East. It's like, choose something else.
Yeah. It'd be better if it was Batman, right?
Yeah, it would be better if it was Batman. No, I'm just tired of that trope. Okay, and then the other thing is this. So I praised it for its vibes and its atmosphere, but I also want to say it's a little one note.
Oh, okay, because it's all negative.
It's all bleak all the time. It's unrelenting darkness. It's like listening to a death metal album that has no breakdowns and no chill. It's just all pummeling. And that makes it to where it doesn't feel as much. It's not quite like that because you do have a few moments of brightness, like with the dogs, with Gwen Paltrow's character. There's some calmness in the office and some of their dialogue here and there, like in the diner, etc. But
Can you think of a joke you laughed at in the movie?
No, I just didn't laugh in this movie. Yeah. This movie it's just like sometimes you need the sour in order to appreciate the sweet.
Yeah. Sometimes
you need the sweet in order to accentuate the sour.
Right.
In this case, we get no sweet. It's just like a punch in the mouth sour. That kind of cascades into the ending where it's just nihilism and darkness. There's no payoff. There's no win.
Yeah. And that's absolutely intentional. Like Fincher talked about, he wanted the audience to feel like
unfulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the thing. Like, even just them solving the crime is taken away because John Doe turns himself in. Mm-hmm. So they don't even get to catch him.
So I'm not going to say that I hated that, but if I was to find the things I didn't like,
right,
that's one of them.
Okay.
What about you? What didn't work?
I don't think the treatment of women in this movie is great.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm not the first person to say this. And it's, it's a classic fridging. The wife gets killed so that the husband can feel something. And we talk about tropes that you hate. Like, that's one that I just absolutely despise. I think, though, like the buddy cop, the old cop, young cop thing, I think this is they deploy it very effectively, even though it is a trope I hate.
Do you think Old Clown, Young Clown would be a good movie?
I think, yeah, I do. Honestly, because it's such a... I just know this from, I don't know where it was, some interview with Sacha Baron Cohen where he's talking about the different schools of clowning, like Buffon, and like there's different like philosophies behind different types of clown work.
They have like dojos and they do battle in old Shanghai.
Yeah, we always like... It's going to clown college is sort of a joke, but it's also a very real thing where like you go to France to study clown, and it is a serious art form. So like, yeah, like it doesn't even have to be a comedy. Like you could do an old clown, young clown movie, and do it as a really serious character piece.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, I would totally watch that.
That sounds badass.
Just a really stark, all French, subtitled, black and white.
No, it would need to be even more obscure. It's filmed in Romania.
Yeah, I was saying
in Romanian, and
you got to go behind the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to understand tragedy to do comedy.
Yeah, I think that would be really good. Sorry, yeah. I interrupted you. What didn't work?
No, that was it. That's my only thing. I think, the movie, some of the critics called it misogynistic. I don't know that I go that far because I don't think the movie hates women, but I do think it indulges in a destructive trope.
Yeah, Brad Pitt drops an F slur.
Oh, yeah.
In there.
And in the R, yeah.
Yeah.
Although...
language has changed a lot. This is a 30-year-old movie. I gave it a pass because it wasn't gratuitous,
and it suits the character. He's absolutely someone that would use the R word.
Yeah,
completely. But it did. I go, oh, he's not very woke.
I was just thinking there are more impactful words you could say.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts and rating.
So I have the slight problem with this movie.
Okay.
In that it is a 4.5 movie.
Think? Okay.
So I had to decide whether it's going through 4 or 5. And I really like it. And I think in analyzing my negatives, none of it is a commentary on the filmmaking, like my dislike of a specific trope, or the fact that it was unrelenting bleakness. But that was intentional. It was all done well, and I think there's a reason why people still talk about Seven. This movie is iconic, and it's one of Brad Pitt's best in his catalog of excellent movies. It's definitely in his pantheon. So I'm going to give it the bump and give it to 5 because I think that my personal bias toward this 90s gritty noir style film, just, it's my own little Nepo baby. I love it that much.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think this is basically a perfect film.
Oh, man.
It absolutely works. It is still incredibly influential.
Sure.
This is a movie people are still aspiring to make. Like, people want to make a movie as good as Seven. It
had really good practical effects, really good music, really good cinematography. Like I said,
anything that you can say, like, I didn't really care for this, is a matter of your taste and not a matter of film craft, not a matter of execution. It's just down, like, there's things that you find distasteful in it, and the movie is intent. That's the intent of the content, is to make you feel that way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's a 5-star masterpiece. Like, it's a perfect film. I'll probably not watch it for another 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it is not something I'm ever going to put on just to chill with. But it is a superb piece of filmmaking.
So IMDb gives it an 8.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 84%. And Letterboxd gives it 4.4 out of 5. Okay. So all of them are sort of in that low to mid 80s, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really good movie, but it's one of those ones where it's disturbing, so it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, you might not sleep good after you watch this. Just like it leaves your mind with stuff to chew on that's not positive.
And that's probably the intention.
Yeah. So maybe just put on a little Bob's Burgers or South Park, whatever makes you laugh before you go to bed after watching this.
All right, well, we'll cut to the music and then come back with the Vault of Darkness.
Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people and leave us a review wherever you listen.
Yeah, got a lot of attraction off of these last couple episodes. I think people engaging with the Sinners and Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, yeah. Those are our most recent aired episodes, and there'll be a few between those and these ones. So
yeah.
Keep leaving comments. We love to talk to you, cultists.
Yeah, we mentioned it last time that we're a little behind the times with or ahead of the times or behind the times with the news. It's because we're planning something special for spooky season where we're going to give you a blitz bonanza of episodes.
This is the September 15th episode, correct?
Yeah, something like that.
So coming up next month, October, and then November, we're doing weekly episodes.
Yeah, we're dropping. So we're getting this in the bank. We're doing these. We're recording weekly. Yeah, but we started recording weekly way early so that we would just be good to go.
Yeah, so you have that to look forward to for the spooky season from Nightshade Cult. Twice as much content coming.
Yeah, I mean, all the experts say, that's how you do it.
That's how you get traction. Yeah. Do you have any dark tidings you wanted to talk about?
No, nothing relevant.
All right, what are we pulling out of the Vault of Darkness?
All right, so this is just this is a book I read between the last time we talked and when we and now, called Billy the Kid, an autobiography, the story of Brushy Bill Roberts. Okay, so this is an interesting autobiography. It is a history of Billy the Kid. It's really, really cool. So if you've seen Young Guns 2, deep cut, there's an old man who kind of wanders out of the desert and claims to be a 92-year-old Billy the Kid. And this is the story that was based on this guy, William H. Roberts, who said he was Billy the Kid. And he actually, it's an interesting book because he did not come out of the woodwork claiming to be Billy the Kid. Sort of like there have been multiple imposters throughout the years. Bill Roberts, actually, someone else outed him, a person he'd known for a very long time, outed him, and the person they outed him to was a lawyer, and he wanted to talk to him and eventually try to help him secure a pardon because he still had a death sentence over him. And he interviewed him, sort of interview with the vampire style, many times. So there's whole letters of correspondence, and then there's in person with audio tapes. And this is in the late 40s, early 50s. And he ends up trying to prove his case to the New Mexico governor to get a pardon, but the New Mexico governor does not treat this seriously at all. Okay. But so he does not grant him the pardon. But this book goes through methodically and analyzes the testimony of Brushy Bill, or the words and the stories that he told versus historical documents on file in the New Mexico State History Museum, newspaper clippings from the 1800s and early 1900s, and corroborates just a ridiculous amount of these things, not to mention a bunch of like physical features, many affidavits from people who knew Billy the Kid, who this lawyer took Brushy Bill to talk to, and they talked for hours, and the person signed an affidavit. That's him. That's the kid. Okay. And all of these stories that he told are all written out, and so it's read by a narrator who has a really great voice. I should have written down who was the narrator. Really great voice.
Of the audiobook?
Yeah, for this old man, southwestern style accent, and so the stories are written out verbatim.
Barry Corbin reads the audiobook version,
and it's so good. This is, and I should say, this is by Daniel A. Edwards, and this book. This convinced me Brushy Bill Roberts was the legitimate article. Okay. There's two, some coincidences here, this and that, one or two affidavits, but it's just the preponderance of evidence is just on his side, and it's really, really interesting. And even if it's not true. Okay. The stories that he tells, because obviously he's old, he's in his 90s, he did exist in the Old West, right? He had a million amazing stories that are just so cool to listen to about things that happened, and things that he did and places he went, fighting in the Spanish-American War, and all of these different things. It was just one of the most riveting books I've read in a long time, and it just got me. I was like, I want to listen to it again. Yeah, it's just so good.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you've been on this Western tip lately. Yeah. So you maybe already said this, but remind me. So what time period is Billy the Kid active in the 1800s, or when is this exactly?
So he was supposedly killed in 1882. Okay. And so he died in his 90s in the early 1950s. Okay. And this was, so all of this stuff, the Lincoln County cattle wars happened in like the 1860s or 1870s, late 1870s, and that's sort of the golden age of the cowboy is kind of from the 1860s through 1900. Okay. and like the Colt revolver doesn't get prominence until the 1850s.
Okay.
So you don't really have the technology for this whole thing. And I've been really, and I followed that up with another Old West one, the book of, I won't do this for another Vault of Darkness, but it's the history of Red Dead Redemption. It's read by the voice actor that voiced Arthur Morgan. It's
Arthur,
it's written by it's written by a history professor, and he actually goes through and talks about the historical inspiration for each of the things that happens in the game, and like the Dutch's group is modeled after Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch.
Okay.
And so like kind of goes through all of the real history of everything. So I'm in an Old West history like, I don't know, phase. Spiral.
Yeah.
I'm just loving it. So
rabbit hole.
How about you? What are you pulling out of the Vault of Darkness?
I'm pulling out a lesser appreciated David Fincher classic.
Oh, snap.
So this is actually the movie
Gone Girl?
With Ben Affleck's Ding Dong. It's the movie that preceded this one. It is a movie that he was very unhappy with the final product. It was similar to David Lynch and Dune. He didn't have final cut, and he felt like the studio butchered his vision for the movie. And it was a poorly received film at the time, but I have always liked this movie, and I think Alien 3 is an underappreciated classic.
He does not like Alien 3.
Yeah, and I don't blame him because it's not fully his vision. Fox got in there and tinkered with the edit, and at several points the movie does not go the way he wanted it to.
Absolutely.
But I think you get a lot of glimpses of future Fincher in that movie. I think it's really got his vibe and his sort of grit. Mm-hmm. It's a real sort of cyberpunk dystopia movie, which I guess all the Alien movies are. And I just think it's maybe not as well loved because Alien and Aliens are both 5-star masterpieces.
Yeah.
And Alien 3 is like a fun 3-star movie.
But man, only 3. I liked Alien 3.
Yeah, I think Alien 3 is a really good time. And if you don't know the premise of it, following the events of Alien 2, the ship that Ripley and Hicks and Newt escape in has problems, and it crashes on a prison planet, basically.
Yeah.
And Hicks and Newt die. And Ripley is the lone survivor, and she's on this prison planet with like kind of the worst men in the galaxy, essentially.
Yeah.
And the spoiler alert, she has an alien gestating inside of her.
It wouldn't be Aliens if we didn't have that.
Yeah, and it's just sort of like this like gritty cyberpunk prison movie dystopia thing. I think it's very influential to the Alien lore because it's where we kind of first get our concept that the xenomorphs are affected by what they gestate in, because we get a dog xenomorph in this movie. So you have a xenomorph that runs around on 4 legs. And it's like, it's not Aliens where you have like a hive full of alien. You just have a prison full of sort of like cyberpunk skinheads and one like 4-legged alien running around stalking them through this prison planet. And I think it's a heavy, vibey movie, and it's a good time, and it deserves a rewatch, and it deserves a reevaluation because I think it's a better movie than it gets credit for.
Yeah, we did Prometheus, Covenant, and then Alien. We did episodes on that, so we're pretty into this alien lore.
We're deep on the aliens. Yeah,
I liked Alien 3. I think it was a good movie.
Yeah, so that's what I'm pulling out, because I think we should all look back at Alien 3 with kinder eyes.
We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
And until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.